Men are turned on to women when whatever the interaction is in the relationship, it raises his testosterone. Then he will feel more bonding with her. And when you're with a woman, when you raise her estrogen, she will bond with you. So this is the bonding aspect. And we look at the biology also. If women's estrogen is low, they're stressed. If a man's testosterone is low, he's stressed. It goes up, stress goes away. For a woman, estrogen goes up, stress goes away. And what is the most bonding experience? Of course, is a woman's orgasm. For her, massive amounts of estrogen. For men, after orgasm, he has to detach. He has to pull away. We're just the opposite. She's ready to hug more. For most men, they'll pull away. Some men just happen to be a little different from most men, and they'll feel her pulling away, and then they'll want to get close. So there are men that do like to cuddle a lot, and their wives will tell me that's too much, too much. So we want to connect. If a woman pulls away, which is detaches, a man will then go to his female side to connect. And this is what happens for women are more in the independent is they get these men and then they say, I feel like I'm his mother. I feel like he's needy. And that's because you stay grounded in your male side. He wants to connect with you. And the only way to connect is by going to his female side because this is the opposites come together, not sameness. So polarity is what allows you to maintain attraction. So once you're having sex, now you're in a committed relationship. I'm going through the stages. I'll quickly go through them. The next stage is commitment. The next stage is deep intimacy. And next stage is proposal. Next stage is marriage. Okay, so I won't be able to go deep into each one. We have a time limit. But this commitment, again, what happens when a man says, yes, you're the only one for me. I'm committed in this relationship. That is a prerequisite for women to go to higher levels of estrogen. You need to have that safety. Safety is the hormone oxytocin, which has been shown to lower women's stress levels. But safety is the foundation for a woman to depend on a man more, to say, I'm looking to you to make me feel even better than I can feel on my own. And that's what a man can do. He can help a woman go from really good to great. And if I can help you go from good to great, then I just went from good to great myself. Not you doing it to me. It's you giving me the opportunity to take you higher. Always that polarity has to be there if you want to thrive in a relationship. Well, this is where the polarity goes wrong. Okay, so now he's made the commitment. That's a very masculine thing to do. She's like feeling, oh, good, or I can depend on him. Her estrogen levels go up. But the problem is for men is once they make that commitment, there's a feeling of, okay, I've done it. Mission accomplished. And after mission is accomplished, I get to go on vacation. I did my day of work and now I can go rest. I don't have to do much. I'm going to do the big stuff. I'm committed to her. I'm thinking about marrying her maybe. So that's the big stuff. So if I'm doing the big stuff, I don't have to do the little stuff because he doesn't understand how powerful the little stuff is. And that's illuminated in one of the most popular concepts in Men Are From Mars, which you're familiar with, is on Venus, every act of love, big or small, has the same effect. It's an act of love. And we can put it in hormonal terms. I can bring her 50 roses. She's going to get a little surge of estrogen. Ooh, that feels good. I can bring her 3 roses, 1 rose, and she's going to have the same surge of estrogen. So that's the concept men have to understand is that bigger is not always better. It's bigger is good occasionally, but better is lots of little things and occasionally a big thing. That's something men don't understand because you don't get paid in a business for doing a lot of little things. You get paid for doing the big stuff. And women fall in love with you because you can do big stuff. But then men don't realize to keep it, you have to keep doing those little things that you did in the beginning, and you can do it better and easier. And that's what I'm teaching men to do. But so, buddy, we're talking about what are men thinking? So what he's thinking is, all right, now I don't have to do much anymore to get your love. And you'll sense that he's doing less. And as a woman, you will make the mistake of thinking, oh, if I just give him more, I will get more back. So you go into this phase of trying to make the relationship better by giving more support to him for whatever he's doing or not doing. And that does not cause him to bond with you. What ends up happening is you end up feeling I'm giving more and getting less, and then you will feel some resentment. And when you feel resentment, it sucks all the energy out of a man. Okay. The opposite of resentment is appreciation and gratitude. When you're feeling appreciation for a man, his testosterone goes up. If you're resenting a man, his testosterone goes down. And it already went down because he achieved his goal, and now it's time to rest and have a vacation. It's his cave time in a sense. So what women have to learn at that time is not to assume that the momentum, his motivation to please you will be the same, but it's still there in potential form, and the seed is there. What you have to do is water that seed, and you water that seed by asking for things. So practicing not overgiving, not trying to please him, but starting to ask him to do things for you and be appreciative. That would be one of the hacks. For married couples to keeping the passion. There's all kinds of hacks I give, but one is just simply every day you raise your hand, which says, I'm going to make a request that's less than 5 minutes. And if you discuss this, you say, as a woman, I'm on my male side. I need more estrogen. It's not proven. I read this book, John Gray. What turns out that if I can ask you to do something little, less than 5 minutes, and you have an immediate response, like, I said, the house is on fire, and you say, I'll fix it. I'll do it. I'm happy to do it. I'm glad to do it. I'll do it right away. If you have that little response and it's only going to take 5 minutes. So it could be, would you get my oil and massage my feet? Yes, right away. And you run to do it. Any man will have, even if he's tired and you tell him it's only 5 minutes and it's going to be great foreplay, which is raising estrogen. Once he understands that, I've never met a man who's not happy to do it. Not happy to do it. But she has to ask. Some men say, I'm always doing stuff for her. I said, well, then you're not going to get much credit for that because you're already doing it. This is something that she normally doesn't ask you to do. It's something that she could do for herself, but she doesn't have to do because you're glad and happy to do it for her. And so you're asking. Asking is the biggest estrogen stimulator because you're acknowledging, I need your help. And what do you need his help for when you ask him to give you a foot massage or make you a cup of tea or clean up the kitchen or empty the trash or remove the ladder from the garage, whatever it was, whatever little activity you have him do that you were going to do anyway for yourself, you ask him to do it. And he has an immediate response. Like almost every night, my wife says, oh, John, already I'm tucked into bed, ready to go to sleep. She says, John, would you get some warm water for me? I'm thirsty. I don't know if she, but I understand it's a little request. It takes less than 5 minutes. So immediately I have the energy to do it because I know it has such an impact on a woman when a man does a little thing for her if she asks for it. It's very, very key. It's understanding men just don't know to do that stuff, but you train them by asking them to do little things, and then you appreciate it. And he starts to learn that, wow, I can get a lot of love for her without spending a lot of energy. It's just a very short, quick thing. Men are always conserving energy. We have a gene that basically says, never do anything you don't have to do. That's it. If I don't have to do it, I'm not going to do it. I don't have the energy for it. I'll wait for the emergency. We're the emergency workers. We always have been. We stand guard, ready to fight our battle, using no energy, keeping our energy intact. Women are not designed that way. Their brains never turn off. Their body, if they're actually relaxed, which is women used to be relaxed, they have 20 times more energy than a man because you have 20% more but actually the burning of fat actually gives you're born with more fat. You have more fat when your estrogen goes up. And that fat, if you're relaxed, oxytocin is produced, you'll burn that fat producing 20 times more energy than sugar or than your muscle mass. So you have the potential to have unlimited energy. So you have always worked 24 hours. Okay. Raising children in a family, just like your brain doesn't turn off. Research shows women's brains don't turn off. Harvard did a study showing women sit down, relax with electrodes on their head. Brain activity speeds up. Ask her, what are you thinking? All the things I should be doing that I'm not doing because I'm sitting here doing the experiment. Your mind just doesn't stop. Man's brain, put the same electrodes on, brain activity dramatically reduces. And you say, what are you thinking? Nothing. We have different set of genes. Actually, we have all of your genes. But at 3 weeks old, we get these 23 genes from the Y chromosome, and their function is to override our certain female genes inside of us. So there's a female gene inside of us that makes vaginas. Instead, it goes the other direction and makes a penis. Another gene that will say to the brain, you have to be on all the time. Well, we have a gene that says if you work hard, you need to forget the day in order to reduce stress so you have energy for the next day. You can't be working all the time because your job usually was during the daytime, where women's job is at night and day throughout all. And babies are always needing your attention. If your body that can make babies, you have the equipment to do it. But if you're stressed, you don't have the equipment to do it. That's the problem. So it's a big problem today as women are on their male side and how to be attractive to a man. And then the other side of it is how to be attractive where a man is attracted to you, but how to be attracted to men. That's what I hear the most of women in their 40s is
and beyond. Yeah.
I just can't, there's no magic there. There's no juice there, you know. And then there's a few women who say, I want a man who'll sweep me off my feet, who's strong and powerful and all this stuff. And it's true. If I have a masculine man, it will help me feel more feminine. But that's your own job. You know, if you want to have a successful relationship, you have to start learning on your own how to be more feminine, learning how to raise your estrogen levels, how to use a man when you're dating to increase your estrogen. So we've covered a few of those things, like being a people pleaser, not trying to give more than you're getting, not pursue a man, not if you're turned on to a man, don't run after him. And the flip side of that is be open to the men who approach you, even if you're not turned on to them, and use them as educational. They may not be the right person, but you want to create a series of dating experiences. Do not wait around letting time pass without dating men. If your goal is to date men, start with what you get. Don't marry them, but practice these new skills and have a good time instead of having it be horrible, because it's horrible if you're trying to find the right person. It's just failure one after another. It can be success because you're using him to get in touch with your female side. So I'm just learning how to be feminine with a man. And if you were to come to my house and see my house, you'd see that beautiful house. But if you were to want to buy the house, you would actually hire somebody to see what's wrong with the house. And that's what happens
Right.
when you're looking to buy a man, so to speak. Is this the right man to spend the rest of my life with? Do I want to get naked with him? You know, you don't have to get naked with every man you date, you know, and you don't have to marry them. You know, you're having a practicing giving a man the opportunity to do nice things for you. And when you let him do nice things for you, there's a tendency in women when they don't understand men are different. Women are very ruled by a hormone or by a gene that says reciprocity. If you do something for me, I'm obligated to do something for you. I want to do something for you. If I don't do something for you, I'll feel guilty, right? So if you understood that when a man does something for you, you are doing something for him by enjoying what he provided for you. Reciprocity has occurred. He gave you something, you gave him something by giving him the opportunity to give to you, and you appreciate what he gave. There's research actually shows that men's stress levels dramatically drop after 3 minutes being in the presence of a happy woman. It's a huge gift. We cannot access that ourselves. We depend on women because remember, our happiness genes are overridden. You know, women have all this, whenever you're happy, estrogen's going up, and we have blocks to it. You know, testosterone, it inhibits our estrogen, and it's through women that we get turned on to life. Women turn us on, but we have to provide the right support for a woman to respond to us with appreciation. So whenever you're appreciating a man, his testosterone goes up. When you're respecting a woman, honoring her, her estrogen goes up. And so if I want a woman to appreciate me, I'm going to respect her, and the response will be she will appreciate me. So as a man, I earn it. For a woman, you ask for it. You already deserve it. If a man's pursuing you, done. He's interested in you. All you have to do is keep asking and learning how to ask and the right ways to ask. We talked about a few of those things, asking for what you want.
And don't you think for women, especially women that have been maybe on their own for a long time, these strong, independent women, maybe postmenopausal, the hormone levels, estrogen have gone down. I think a starting point here is beginning to really get in touch with your own needs. And because I think we can get out of touch with our own needs. We become so used to just kind of suppressing them and doing everything by ourselves and not feeling like we can ask for help or that we have access for support.
Look, the reality is women are way more confident than men in many, many ways. And so women often say to me, well, why should I ask? I can do it better myself. Or why should I ask and have him grumble at me? Like, why do I have to do this? You know, it's just easier to ask. It's easier to ask. But this is your challenge as women, is to learn how to ask, just like it's a man's challenge to learn how to give without resisting it, without grumbling. And there's a lot of ways we can learn to do this. I was just flipping through this book. It happened to be in front of me today, but probably I'm not going to find it. Oh, here it is. I found it. Why do women need men? Let me just read this list. It's good to be aware of this, because women are like, what do I need a man for? She needs a man for romantic companionship. There's nothing more powerful to knock your estrogen levels up, lower stress, and increase your lifespan. It's proven that married people, men and women, live longer and have less disease. So she needs a romantic companion. Okay, 2, she needs a man to be faithful. When you have a faithful man, you have commitment. So you learn how to keep a man faithful. He has to be sexually satisfied, period. If you want a man.
Well, and you know what, John, one really quick thing about that is sometimes women get frustrated about men and the fact that they're driven by their sex drive. And I say to women, look, for most women and for most men, you want someone who's sexually attracted to you. So don't make him wrong or bad in the beginning because he's sexually attracted to you, because in a long-term relationship, that's part of what makes that kind of relationship distinct and different from other kinds of relationships.
That's the number one thing. I mean, you don't have sex with anyone else. That's what it's about. But here's what men don't know. Men don't know why they need sex. What I teach men is that the reason we need sex is because we are limited in our ability to feel love. This is why women often don't get married right away or anything, or don't seek out a sexual companion, because they can love for their children, they can love the trees, they can love the food, they can love friends, they can love their government, whatever it is, they can love the planet, they become an activist, whatever it is, they can feel this love for something. Men primarily feel love when it's romantic love. And then you have children, you can always feel love for your children. But that's when love really starts to blossom inside of a man, because he's getting close to a woman and a woman is opening up to him. That's through women we experience love, and through sex we can begin to feel more. So if I'm eating ice cream, which is a lot of sugar and it's very pleasurable, I can feel, oh, I love ice cream. It's easy to say I love ice cream because it has so much sugar and makes you feel good. So the point of sex, it makes you feel good. But what do you do with the feel good? Is now you look with your feelings to find the part of you that loves your partner and expresses that love. That's why we want sex. We need sex to connect with the love part of our soul. And that's a soulmate, awakens us to fullness, to experience the love that's in our soul, not just the masculine side, but the feminine side of us. So through making love, we're able to feel love and then to express love. This is like, I call it enlightened sexuality, is become conscious that I'm only going for the pleasure here with my wife, because with pleasure, I can feel more, and with feeling more, I can express more. And when women are experiencing sex, they can also, usually they have to feel more first before they can be turned on. They have to feel safe. They have to feel I can depend on him. I'll be loved by him. He's not going to judge me. And I feel supported by him. Then her estrogen levels start building up. Then she can go to her male side and experience the pleasure of sex, along with, to the point of feeling more love. And also, it's really the whole beautiful thing about it is because a man can feel more, it allows a woman's estrogen levels to go even higher, because he becomes safer when he's feeling more. And that's the secret, is using sex to feel more and express that. And that's a whole class. And men have to, they don't know any of that. They just think, I'm horny, I want to have sex. But there's a real reason why we hunger for it, why you can break up with a girlfriend or get married and you're on one of those social media things right away. You need sex. And it's just like women need love. Women buy all of the 90% of the relationships, are women buying that, generally speaking. Men from Mars is an exception. More men buy it than women, because it also treats men quite fairly. As opposed to trying to feminize men, helping women understand and appreciate what men can offer. We're not girlfriends, but we have what you're missing from a girlfriend. So
I'm so glad you shared that. I interrupted your list, though.
Oh, that's okay. It was good. She needs a man for simple companionship. She doesn't want to come home to a big, beautiful, empty house or apartment. She needs a man for financial backup, someone who could support her if she couldn't work. These are all deep, deep needs. I need a man around because she feels safer. two people are twice as good as one. It's just, you got to have somebody call the police. You got to
Mm-hmm.
be there. She needs to have a partner to share fun times with. What's fun alone? I just see people living in illusion. Oh, I went on vacation all by myself. I feel so good. It may feel good if you're overly dependent. Now you have some time to be independent, but it's not fullness. It's a wonderful thing that we're born to have relationships. We're social beings. She needs a partner to share with who cares about her well-being. I care, as opposed to nobody really cares about me. She needs a partner who misses her when he's away. She needs a partner to help raise the family if they have children. Trying to raise children without a man, it's a tough thing. It's tough. Mm-hmm. She needs a partner if she doesn't want to have children alone. What does that one mean? If she gets IVF,
Yeah, single woman having a baby, yeah.
She needs a partner to have a family. She needs a partner to share the responsibilities of caring for the nest, to help around. There's one of these things in here. I have a list of 150 things that men do that women don't realize we do. It would be like, if the TV set's not working, who calls Comcast and sets it all up 2 hours to get them to do anything? Who's going to talk to the carpenter when sheetrock broke, when there's a leak somewhere? You call him, all these handyman jobs. If there's disputes in the neighborhood, who's going to go complain to the neighbor? It's going to be me. If there's a lawsuit against us, who's going to manage the lawsuit of it? People attacking me? It's going to be me. I'm not going to say, honey, you handle the lawyer, or you handle the neighbor, or any kind of catastrophe that happens. And we're not even aware of it as men, but I just said, what were the last 3 months of things I did for my wife? And this might even page open to that. No, that's not the page. But this is another book where I talk all about that's why Mars and Venus collide, is that women end up feeling a man does nothing. And men do so much that gets put in the box of, well, he's the man, he should do that. And then women are just looking at the help they need. And yes, women do need more help today than all the things men typically do. But how do you get that help? Don't assume he's just going to do it. Learn how to ask for it and get rewards for it. This is the whole thing of realizing he's going to do a little bit more because he loves you. And she needs a partner to fix things when they break. She doesn't want to do her own plumbing anymore. Why do your own plumbing? I see these women carrying the trash out to their lawns. They much prefer having a man do that for them who doesn't complain about it, who doesn't whine about it. That's the great thing about men. We don't say, oh, I did this, and oh, I did this, and oh, I did this, and you're not doing enough for me. You don't get that from a man. Now, you are getting it more and more today as men are more feminized. And when a man does that, you don't want to listen for very long. Don't encourage that kind of behavior. That's another thing for dating women to know, is that if a man's talking about his feelings, show a little interest and change the subject. Don't encourage it. And on dating, don't ask a lot of questions of what he's feeling. Don't even ever ask that question. It should always be, well, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? And then when he does say what he thinks about that, you say, that's very interesting. Or you say, oh, that makes sense. Or, oh, what a good idea. I hadn't thought of that. You don't ask a man what he's feeling. If you you're just encouraging him to go to his female side, and he'll do whatever you want him to do. But it's not healthy for men to do that. I know that's so controversial to say. Certainly you want to hear his feelings when they're loving and positive. Absolutely. But if they're not loving and positive, what you get is these men who come home and they just complain about their job, and a woman can't hear that. She needs to feel stability in the man. So these women who, again, I talked about women not being attracted to the men that they get. It's just, it doesn't spark the passion. That passion is her job. See, she thinks it's his job. She's got to connect with that vulnerable part of her. And so all of my books explain the process of emotional processing, how to process your emotions, because emotions are the most important thing for raising your estrogen. And when you're a male, on your male side, you rationalize everything. Well, nothing I can do about that. Well, that's the way life is. Well, life sucks sometimes, or, hey, nothing I can do about it now, so forget it. This is how men inappropriately deal with emotions, because whenever you do those rationalizations, minimizing, no big deal, can't do anything about it, forget it, deal with it tomorrow. Well, there's nothing I can do, so that's the way it is. That's our male side, and that produces testosterone. And we have this foolish idea that men have to process things the way women do, because the way women, they have to talk, they have to share, they have to be heard. Their estrogen goes up, their stress level goes down. We don't. If we talk about our feelings, our estrogen goes up. Our stress goes up. It doesn't resolve anything. And people, well, you didn't talk about your feelings. I don't need to. I just have to go out and play tennis, or I need to go play a video game, which, by the way, that can be too addictive. So there's some cave activities that are not that great. You can go do porn. You'll feel good right away, but then you'll crash. Your testosterone goes down. Your estrogen goes up later. But you watch some news. I watch the news. That's great. Too much news, not good. I can get addicted to that. So anything that it can be a cave time activity, too much of it can become an addiction. So there has to be moderation with that. And so you're with a guy and he's doing a lot of cave activity. You don't say, hey, you shouldn't do that. You say, hey, when you get a chance, I need your help. And he says, well, what is it? Oh, when you get a chance. No, not right now. Don't be demanding about it. And then, well, what help do you want? So, I'll let you know. Let it be a mystery. Then he'll say, okay, what is it now? I said, only take about 10 minutes. Okay, what is it? Always give men time limits. Next thing is, I just want to talk about my day and just have your full attention. You don't have to say anything, do anything. I'm going to talk about some things. And then you talk about some things because you have to talk to be seen, to be heard, for your estrogen levels to go up. I don't need to talk for my testosterone levels to go up if I'm feeling stressed. What I need to do is solve the problem. And if I can't solve the problem, then I have to strategically distract myself to not think about the problem. And that's something we men can do. Women, doesn't work for them to strategically, rationalize, logically look at the problem and say, nothing I can do, or don't get upset about it. No big deal. That's life. This is great strategies, which if you go to a psychologist, oh, you're just in denial. That's terrible. No, that's man. Now, there is a time for a man to share his pain and his grief and his, guilt and all that. And that's when there's a big thing, like his wife dies, his child dies, his children won't talk to him. These are big things on an emotional level. And the Chinese say it great. A man should never cry unless his heart is broken. Mm-hmm. Such a beautiful message. Because see, recently I had a business partner. I lost about $30 million because he died and he was in debt and there was lawsuits and all this stuff. And you think, well, and that most of my money, I'll get some out of it, so I'm fine. But talking about my feelings does not make me feel any better. It's figuring out how to save the company and manage this company and take action. As long as I keep taking action, I'm fine. But if I just sat there and go, oh my God, I just lost all this stuff and feeling sorry for myself and talking about how bad it is, I'd be depressed. I'd be in anxiety. It was taking action because I was able to take over the companies and do this and handle this. And I'm able to solve the problem. And certainly I'm not going to get what I used to have, what I thought I had, but I have plenty. So it's like you solve the problem. You deal with it. You accept what is, and you solve the problem. That's a man. The female side of us needs to talk about how terrible it is. And here's the secret. When you talk about that, it's a circle. You share some feelings about something at work, never upset feelings about the man, but just share upset feelings about work, frustration, disappointments, concerns, worries, feelings of embarrassment. Just share a little bit of what's inside, and your estrogen will go up. He'll be very attentive because anything that raises estrogen in a woman will get his attention. It's like, think about the fireman who sits around doing nothing, and then there's a fire, he comes alive. There's a problem. It's a problem. He thinks once you start talking about problems, he's going to solve them. And you just have to let him know, oh, you don't have to solve anything. I just need to talk about it, and then I feel better. And then he watches you talk about frustrations and disappointments like a circle. And then you go around to the other side of the circle, and you're saying, but it's not all bad. The truth is I love doing this, and it's not a big deal. He just did this and this and this. And actually just felt good to talk about it. You just talk to man, psychology, something he'll never even learn in a psychology class. If a woman just talks for a while, she'll feel better because it makes estrogen, lowers her stress. And then suddenly what was a big problem is not a big problem. But if she's on her male side, she's already processed it. There's nothing I can do about it. It's not a big deal. Why talk about it? No point in talking about it. But all that stress is building up in her. And then she's going to want to she becomes needy for some kind of special attention from her partner, or she'll feel partner's just not enough. Whenever your estrogen's not enough, your experience of life is not enough time, not enough love, not enough confidence in the man, not enough male energy. Whatever it is, you're just going to focus on not enough. So you explore those feelings, but then come back to your positive feelings. And this is the work you do on your own so that when you're interacting with men, the tone of your voice is one of vulnerability. It's not like you have to do all that vulnerability with him. It's literally in the tone of your voice. It's the smile that you have. It's the gait of your body. It all shows up. If you're in touch with your female side, you are attractive to men. And when you're really in touch with your female side, it's not like there's slim pickings. There's lots of great men out there. But not everyone is the one for you. You just have a great time using men to open your heart a little bit more, and then you will attract the right guy for you.
Yeah, I love it. Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, so much here. This was such a value-packed interview. I was just thinking as you were speaking, one of the things I've learned from you among many, John, that has been incredibly helpful in my own relationship. Well, I'll mention two real quick that just kind of go along with what you're saying is if my husband's going through a problem and having a hard time, instead of me trying to jump in to solve the problem, I'll listen a little and I'll give a little bit of empathy. I'll say, that does sound challenging. And then I'll say, and I have every confidence that you, being the smart, intelligent man that you are going to figure out exactly what to do.
So
and
great.
he like puts his shoulders back and I can just tell he's like in for figuring it out, right?
Yeah. It's like, it's instead of offering help to a man, acknowledging he can do it for himself, and you trust that. Amazing.
Now, if he comes to me and asks my opinion or advice on something, then I'll give that. But right. I don't jump in and try to solve the problem for him or try to, manipulate what he's doing or tell him how to do it. I empower him.
And I have one of my clients, she says, well, what am I supposed to do? I have the answer for him. He's doing it wrong. I can tell him the right way. If he's not asking for your advice, don't give it. This is a very, very difficult thing. Now, occasionally you could, but if it's consistently over and over and over, it's just like he'll push you away and push you away. That's my dog.
Hi, dog. What's your dog's name?
Mimi.
Mimi. Hi, Mimi. One other thing I want to mention that has been incredibly powerful that I've also learned from you, John, is asking for what I want from my husband instead of complaining about what I'm not getting. And it's amazing the difference that has made.
And we'll just add another thing for those listening. I think you already know, and when you ask and he doesn't do it, you can kindly point out, oh, next time, would you do this? Sometimes you forget. And I just want to remind you how good it feels when you do that. And it's not really a big deal, and walk out of the room. Just this phrase, it's not a big deal, lowers any stress in a man to actually consider and remember your request and think very highly of you. So I had such a good time talking with you. My dog comes in.
I loved it too. I think Mimi wants some attention now. I want to encourage everybody once again to give us a like or leave a comment or share this video, and also be sure to check out all of John's books and his resources on marsvenus.com. Be sure to get his free course there and check out Lauren's course on understanding men. John gave you just a little tiny taste of some of the things that are in some of these resources today. And John, I just can't thank you enough. It's been such a delight and such a privilege to interview you again today, and also for all that you've contributed to my work, and truly grateful for you. Thank you.
Michelle, it's always a pleasure for me to talk to you. And one little ad that's not in any of my books, so I feel like I should talk about it. And that is, people keep asking me how women can increase their estrogen, all right?
Yeah.
And how men can increase their testosterone. And the number one way is for people to know, if you have belly fat, whether you're a man or woman, it's an endocrine disruptor, the most powerful one that exists. And if it's too much, you can just go, what is a healthy belly fat? What is not? And mine was not healthy, even though I'm rather... I'm not a round person. I'm more of an ectomorph. But you see, as men get older, they get these little bellies, and women get these bellies. And that's fine. My wife's still attracted to me, whatever. But it will inhibit estrogen. And I wouldn't even be talking about it if I didn't have the most amazing solution, which is there's new research showing that you can actually eat more protein, not diet, but eat more protein, and you will actually lose fat and gain muscle mass. Every diet you ever go on where you eat less calories will lower your metabolism and you'll get fatter. And if you're a man, you lose muscle mass when you diet. And as I get older, I'm reading all about how many people get dementia and all that. It's all directly related to how much muscle mass that you've lost. And hormone imbalance is all related to how much extra body fat you have in your belly. So there's a process I can lead people through, and they can contact me and I'll give them this information. We don't have time for it today, but if you go to marsvenus.com and just go to contact us. We don't have a page describing it, but just we will contact you with someone that will explain the diet, show you the procedure so that you can eat more, more meals during the day, more protein during the day. It's a special protein that you pre-digest, you incubate it. It's amazing, which breaks the protein down, releases the amino acids so that there's no toxicity in the protein. Whenever you eat normal protein, 80% of it is toxic. Your body has to eliminate. But this way, you don't have any toxicity. You get pure amino acids. You incubate it for 45 minutes. You do it 2 to 4 times a day. I did 4 times a day in 3 weeks. I knocked off 2.5 inches off my belly, bringing it back to a healthy place where I was when I was in my 40s and 30s, something like that. So this is just an extra thing people can know. I always wanted to share good things that I read the studies on it. It's amazing. And we can help people if they want that.
So just go to marsvenus.com and then go to the contact us page.
Yeah, there's just at the very bottom, it's a little phrase, contact us, and just write in there and we'll contact you. Give the phone number, email, and we'll contact you. All right.
Okay, sounds good. And we'll put the link to John's site in the show notes, and you can check out these resources. And John, I want to thank you once again. I know Mimi's wanting some love and some attention there.
Food. She wants food.
Oh, she wants food. Okay, well, yeah, that's a real need too, right?
Yeah.
And we will talk to you again sometime soon. And thanks everybody for watching. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.